numbers, because I can read it after a test if I use a combination, but they always say real time is what you want, real time, real time. I'm like, why?
Well, I
is
mean,
that
and they're
what
gonna
it is?
know. They're gonna know because whether it comes out in words as 19 and then 93, you know, even at worst, you know, your judge or somebody else is gonna say, oh, okay, that's 1993. Okay, I kind of see what she was doing there or whatever, but okay.
But
If
I
that's a
can
worse
always-
mistake you make,
I can always read it and then I get worried that they always say real time, real
Yeah.
time. I'm like, oh, well, I guess.
and you can even put it in your dictionary like that, to where those strokes come out in 1993. So, I mean, don't freak out, you know?
If I get the number, I'm good.
Number conversion is treated at length in the efficient editing tutorial, so be sure to look at it.
Okay, any questions about that?
So to just
Writing words, writing
clarify-
some numbers, huh?
Just to clarify, when I go into my Alt-U
Mm-hmm.
and I go to my numbers, mine currently says ignore written numbers. So if I wouldn't want to click that because I use a combination sometimes. So, but you would want to click it if you're good about using, when you write out a number, you want it to stay as the word, so.
Or
only-
as, you know, ignore written numbers,
Okay.
okay? That's when you write numbers out, words, okay?
Time is the one I have a question.
And time is gonna be,
Time is the one that gets me.
and they're gonna talk about time, you know? So it's gonna make it easier, okay? And they're just kind of generalizing it right here. The question is, how do you transcribe hours without minutes? You know, do you prefer at 9 I'll dine, or at 9 I'll dine, or at 9 o'clock I'll dine? Which one do you think is correct?
It's the grammar one I
First
always
one.
off flat.
Hmm? The what?
I always put the first one. You don't write o'clock
The
unless
first
it's
one, you only put o'clock, I thought.
I
it
was
would
always
say
taught
o'clock.
that you never write it like this.
Even if
It's
they
always
say-
N-I-N-E. It's always the word when it's with o'clock.
So what-
And you never write it like this with o'clock. Because this is 9 o'clock, o'clock. That's the way I was always taught. This means 9 o'clock. So you don't want to write 9 o'clock, o'clock, I'll dine. Okay?
But I thought you use o'clock if they say o'clock, but it's implied.
You do. It's implied with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's implied that that's 9 o'clock.
Are you saying the third one's incorrect because it should be N-I-N-E?
N-I-N-E.
O'clock, I'll dine.
Yeah.
On a test, I wrote, say the number, the time was 9. She said 9 o'clock, so I wrote 9:00. She said it was wrong because she said o'clock.
Yeah.
So I need to write out o'clock.
Yeah.
So that :00 doesn't say o'clock, that says at 9 I'll dine.
It's inferred that it's 9 o'clock. When they say 9 and they mean time, that's the way you write it. When they say o'clock, you write o'clock. You always write what they say.
Yeah, because 9.
Don't imply that it, oh man, that's what he meant.
Yeah, the :00 means time, because otherwise it would be 9 desks or 9.
Yeah.
So when if they ask for a readback and they didn't say o'clock, they say at 9, but since I stroke it 9-00, do I read back at 9 o'clock or at 9?
No, at 9.
9, I'll dine.
He didn't say o'clock. He just said 9. So that it's implied that this is o'clock, just implied.
But don't
It
say
doesn't,
it.
it don't say it.
It's just implied that it's.
So and there's a stroke that you can put for time, and it's automatically gonna come up as time. Okay? And we're gonna get to that too. What?
Nothing, when you were getting me with the, at 9 o'clock, I'll dine, and I was always taught that it was okay to leave the digit with the o'clock, as long as you didn't put the 00.
That's another.
I mean, and it all depends. I mean, if you go to work for somebody and they tell you put it 9 o'clock, then you put it 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I was always taught that it's always NINE. And it looks better. It looks better to me, NINE. Okay? Because you already have words here. So you keep it as words, was what I was taught. Right or wrong, I don't know. I'm just telling you guys the way that I do it. Okay? And the way that to me it looks best.
It's gonna be a long night, sir.
I know.
Grammar's
I can
hard.
already feel it.
I told my parents for Christmas I wanted the Morton's Guide to Reporter's Grammar, because I was like, I can't type this anymore, I need Morton's.
See right here? At start, at the beginning of a sentence, what numbers should be written out? And it's saying 1 through 100. Should be written out. If it's the first word of the sentence, 1 through 100 should be written out. Okay? And that's the rule that they give you. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. Whether, you know, they have it on the test or whatever. I mean, and it's written, you know, 100, and they count off because you put ONEHUNDRED. If it costs you the test, let me know.
You wrote
Okay.
it down.
Yeah, because it's telling you right here in the lesson itself. Okay? Right here. When should lots of zeros and commas be replaced by descriptive words? Million, trillion, billion, all of those. Okay? You know, it just looks better than this. When you write, well, how much was it? It was 5 million. How many were there? There were 5 million. You don't want to write that. Now, if they're talking about dollars, you write it like this. Okay? But if they're just saying, you know, how many were there? There were 5 million. Oh, okay. Boom. 5 million.
How would you write 5,343,000?
Then you write it like this. But when they're just saying one descriptive word, how many were there? There was 1 billion. How many were there? There were 1,472,000. Million. 472,393. Then it needs to be written out like this. Okay? Okay, dictionary cleanup. Getting maximum benefit from Total Eclipse's automatic number conversion capabilities involves fine-tuning your dictionary, okay? Even removing some of the counterproductive entries. When this is done, you will be able to write what you hear and let Eclipse interpret numbers intelligently according to the way that you set it up in your user settings. I'm sorry. God, going blank. Okay. So the old way that we used to do it was you had to set it up like this. Okay. So when you write 1, and whether it's 1 or 1, it doesn't matter. You always define it as 1. You never put the number anymore. So when you go back, F9, go into F9 right now. Or shift control.
You have to exit out and open the it does a weird thing with your dictionary.
Yeah, so if you need to exit out and go into Eclipse and do it.
What are we searching for?
For
One? Just open it.
F9. F9, and then it should be over here in the Auto Magic, it should have numbers. No?
It opened up the dictionary
Yeah.
and it made it all look funny.
I'm in my real thing, 'cause my number numbers are all jacked up, so I actually opened the real thing and was trying to use it. So what are we looking for at night? Or are you talking about the player, like the lesson player?
Oh, go into 1.
Here.
I'm actually trying to write out my numbers while you're doing it.
So it's function.
At night.
Oh gosh. The number one, is that very helpful?
Use the main dictionary.
You wanna go into the main? There it is. Number 6. That's all of your numbers, okay? So you want to go to the very top. And anywhere you have a number here, you probably want to get rid of it.
How?
Okay?
I didn't catch that.
Huh?
I didn't catch that.
I searched 1 and.
So
it
go into
came
F9,
there. Yeah.
go into 1. I think it was
I think you hit,
1. That was
This is
4.
my dictionary.
no, I think you said 6, because you hit 4 and it was for something else.
No.
So in our main dictionary, we should not have any digital numbers written out. I guess it's in right here, you know, in our dictionary where it gives us the steno, but the
Oh, there it
text
is.
is
And then
natural
6
movement, we should not have
numbers.
like digits.
How did it define?
I had it defined, well, that's what he was, I don't know how he did it.
Steak sauce is a big one.
Oshavan 2. What's that?
Beats me. Why is one answer steak sauce?
A1. Oh, it's A1.
A1 steak sauce, okay. Steak what? Answer steak sauce, oh, I don't, okay. You can just delete. This is one, 2.
So just so to clarify, anything with the number,
Just click it.
I don't wanna,
Just click on it.
yeah,
Is it click?
yes.
Click another one.
Okay.
Then you can just press 3 and it'll delete the picture.
What is that? I don't know what that
But I mean, you don't
is.
need to delete that one. I'm just telling you how to do it.
Okay.
Did you find it, Slick?
No.
1?
Which one?
Not that one.
Not mine, yours.
The other one. 'Cause your numbers over here are always going to do something different for some reason. On the computers, it does something different. So 1 and then 6 for
Is
numbers. You
this
want to.
crap on my-
So when you go in there, get out of that. Get back out of that.
Can you get out of this?
Yeah.
Click over here and see what mine looks like.
And do F9.
I'm still confused on what we should do. Are you getting the wrong dictionary?
What is
I
this?
have a bunch of
And this?
Where's your, that's your menu?
Yeah.
All right.
And also whatever this, these are.
And then you can go in there and convert any of those things. So anything that's capitalized, any of your conflicts, phrases, prefixes, you want to do any of that stuff and go in there and clean any of that stuff up, you can. What we're working on right now is number 6, numbers. So anywhere you have a number,
To the number 3.
yeah, you probably need to delete
Okay,
it.
then I need to go and do
This,
that.
like,
I mean, you don't need any of that. Because like 98, and it's gonna explain it to you here in just a bit. And then you're gonna have to go in and kind of clean your dictionary to where all of these things are.
I don't mean to be a dead horse, right? So I write out my numbers, like for example, 100, I do 100, right?
Number
For
1, or W-U-N,
W-U-N and then hun.
okay?
So those two strokes together equals the number 100.
You don't need to do that anymore.
Okay.
You're gonna define them individually now.
But see, that's how it is, it's defined individually in my dictionary, but in digits. Can I show you, please?
So how do you know when you're using a number versus when you're using a word?
That's what I'm saying, because for example, this is my 87. This is my 86, 84, 83. Like, I write them out in one stroke. So if I get rid of this, it's not gonna show up when I start writing them out.
You have to redefine them.
That's what I did the first time. Or am I supposed to redefine them in words?
You're supposed to it's supposed to be defined in words.
Oh, okay,
And
that's
then
what
it
you
knows
mean.
whether
To change it to words or numerals.
So you're saying
Okay.
for one to go and
I get it.
delete the.
But, I mean, don't do it yet, because,
Okay.
Because I have two different ones. I have the number bar.
yeah,
And I have ONE.
yeah.
So I guess it's just something, a work in progress to do on our own time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, like in the old days, whether you wrote it 1 or 1, that was the way you defined it, 1 or 1. Now all you do is just define it as 1. So if you write that number out, all you have to do is define it as 1. ONE. Don't use the numbers. It already knows to convert the numbers. Okay?
Yeah, this is Eclipse understands.
So it tells you right here, whether you write 1 or 1, Eclipse, not needed in the dictionary. It doesn't need it anymore. All you need is 1, because Eclipse understands number bar strokes and will write out numbers according to your quantity rules. So whatever rules you put in there that you want it from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, or whatever, on your user settings, then that's how it's going to know how to change it. Okay? Now they're talking about dollars. In the old days, we had to do it like this. Dollars. And the dollar sign whatever. Now all you do is define it as dollars. So when it comes up with dollars, and there's a number before the dollars, and you don't have to hit dollars before you even hear the number. So they say $7. You write it just like that. $7. And stroke out the word dollars, then that's how you do it. Okay? I do it with the D. So like if it's $7, I do 7D, 8D, 23D. And the D symbolizes with the numbers that it's a dollars. It's a dollar symbol. Okay?
So you've linked those two together because for my D is did.
Well, and that's what it's telling you right here. If you use like DZ,
Oh, you use your final D or your name?
yeah, my final D.
Okay.
I use my final D. But it's with a number.
Okay.
So it knows, well, it's not going to be ED anymore. You know, it's with a number, so it needs to be in dollars. So if that's what you want to do, and you know you're scared that it's going to accidentally put it as it's taking away your suffix, then you can create
Conflict?
a conflict.
That makes sense.
Okay? If you do it that way. So this is the way they do it. So it's 5DZ is the way that they do dollars. I do it 5D. That's the Eclipse way to define it.
Are you trying it out?
This is only needed if you do it in one stroke, which I do. But if you just do DLARS, then you don't need to worry about it. This is going to be one of the only times that you do the number. Okay? Make sense?
I believe in Eclipse, the DLARS is the function to make it with the dollar sign.
Yeah, mine's DLARS makes it into the money sign, but if I do $Rs, it makes the word.
In Eclipse, it's the DLR.
It shouldn't matter. Because if you don't write a number and you write DLARS, it's going to write DOLLARS.
Yeah.
You just come
So
up
were they
with-
talking dollars or cents? It's going to come out DOLLARS and CENTS. Okay?
Yeah, it does. But when you have it with the number, that's what you're saying, that it'll come out, it comes out like this.
Okay. I guess I don't need to, I can use the same stroke for both.
That's what it's telling you right here, $5. You don't define it like this anymore, okay? Now you define it FIVE, second stroke, DOLLARS. Okay? You don't put the number anymore. You don't put the dollar sign anymore. Okay? Same thing with cents. Same thing. Not needed if cents is defined by itself as cents. Okay? But you have to be able to stroke them differently. So whether you write sense as in smell, sense, or like common sense, SENSE, have to be different. You have to write these different. Okay? You in the front.
Going back, I'm sorry to backtrack, there was the clock, the time.
Mm-hmm.
My dictionary has it, if I want to do o'clock, I press the number bar with K and the asterisk makes o'clock in one stroke. Do I
You
go ahead
can.
and delete all of those or just keep it as a backup?
If you're writing it as one stroke, then it needs to be defined as that way.
As that way?
Yeah, with the number. That's why it's telling you the only time you're going to do it is when you use it with a certain stroke. But if you just write 5 o'clock, then you know. Anytime it's with o'clock, then it's going to be written out FIVE, if that's the way you want it. Okay?
Mine has it with the number 5.
See, and that's the way that I do
o'clock.
cents too. 10S, 9 cents, 39 cents with an S. That's the way you have to define it. Are y'all paying attention, guys? 'Cause you're gonna come back next week and you're gonna ask me the same questions next week.
I'm going, as you're saying, I'm trying it so that way
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay?
But mine is, so when it says 10 cents.
How do you do it?
It's, well, I do 10
Prints.
prints.
I do
Prints.
Prints,
Okay.
that's what I do, but it always comes out hyphenated when I do it. I don't know why it's coming out
Mine does
Never
that
mind.
too,
Prints,
actually, now
your
that I
prints
think
should be
about
cents. Your prints should be just defined as cents.
Yeah, when I.
Can you click
write
on it
out.
and see if you can global it and see what it's telling you to do? So write cents, so write prints. Now go back and click on it. So see if you can click on it and global it. See what it's telling you. It's kind of linked. So you can't just click on cents, it automatically is coming up. So go over where you have it just as cents.
You can put your cursor right there.
Well, it was linking 10 and cents together. When she global it, it's automatically linking.
Because it's already in your